Fed's Kashkari, further modest rate cuts appear appropriate.
Little steak for breakfast, not bad. All right, you guys ready to get going? Looks like the frame is all messed up. Hang on. A little better. Morning favor. All right, let me find the music and we'll get going. All right, good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance because trading is risky and not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Right on. So what do you need to be a success? Well, you need an execution partner. That means you need a broker. Your choices are have one that laughs at you when you lose money or one that prays for you day and night to be a success. Which one do you want? Well, one is called an ECN. It uses straight-through processing, and they earn money by providing you a service, which is access to a platform and liquidity partners, and they actually execute your trades into the interbanking system. That's a rare model. Not many brokers have that business model. It's a whole different technology. Trader's Way is like that. It's an ECN. That's exactly what you want. All the other brokers, they laugh at you when you lose because their business model is based on you losing money. You're like, how does that make any sense? Well, people go to Las Vegas and they gamble in a casino. What's the business model? Your success? No, of course not. They want you to lose. Most brokers are like that. So I don't like that. That rubs me the wrong way. So I use an ECN. Trader's Way is the ECN I use. You should check them out and do your own due diligence. Traders.com, man. Fully automate your technical and fundamental analysis. So once you have your research platform, then you can make wise and intelligent investing decisions, both technically and fundamentally. We also have performance coaching. Our schedule is ridiculous. There's so much access to talent that you might not have enough time in the day. That's a lot of talent. So looking at this morning, let's go to the past here. Past. Okay, this on Sunday we did a Sunday prep group led by Maida. Then I did a day trading meeting. And then this morning we did fundamentals. Later today, we have stock index trading with Peter Ward. We have scalping market opens with Jessica. And then tonight, we have more technical analysis. That's just in the last 24 hours. That's 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 earlier, 4 and 5, for probably a total of more than 6, probably pretty close to 7 hours of performance coaching just in this 24-hour period from the market open yesterday to the end of today. 7 hours, bro. Yeah. Good. Okay. Good. There you go. And lastly, if you don't mind me offering more additional resources.
Kickstart the FX trading day for OAK 14 with a technical look at Euro US dollar yen, and pound US dollar. Class ID. Analyze UK employment data.
Okay. Sorry. Perfect timing, though. I launched a new service. It cost me a lot of money to build, and I am giving it away for free. Yeah, it's a live news squawk. Some services cost $300 and $400 a month for something like this. Other services have found a way where basically it's one dude. He does it for cheap, and that's that. This service is fully automated, and I'm giving it away for free. So about 2,000 headlines, about maybe 2,500 headlines a week on average. Ooh, look at that. The chart just updated. Did you notice that? But anyways, somewhere around between 2,000 and 3,000 headlines a week is what is estimated to come through this news feed. And we have AI reading it 24 hours a day. So we built the AI. They're real voices. We've been training the voices. They're not perfect, but they're getting there. We're going to continue trading voices. There's going to be additional voices. So this is going to improve. But I spent all this time and money and effort to build this, and now I'm giving it away for free. So if you could support me in this initiative by just simply subscribing, liking, I don't think you can even leave a comment, and use it. Would you please use the service? So here's the calendar. there's no news until tomorrow. Okay, no important news until tomorrow. Here's the headlines coming in, and the AI reads it like a true squawk, and then this updates throughout the day. 27 minutes ago. So you get some technicals, you got some fundamentals, and you got some the calendar, and it's free. It's just free. There you go. That's what I do with my spare time. All right. So let us get back to the world. Okay, let's get back to the world. And we have two things going on. Okay, one, you have to look at this. And two, you should look at this. How do you trade it? Up, down, or sideways? Well, I hope you've downloaded the flashcards. I believe it's in the description. I can't really see the description. Let's see. I can edit, though. Yes. If you don't have our flashcards, then feel free to download them. They're also free. But looking at this pattern, okay, what we would expect, now it doesn't mean it'll happen, but the way that you trade the pattern is, you know, up, 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 pullback. Okay, second test, higher, low. Third test, higher, low. Fourth test, higher, low. Fifth test, something like that. Now, do I know if it's going to break out now or one more? Like, how do I? Yeah, that could happen too. The thing is, you want to look and identify the apex. And the closer to the apex, the more reliable. So if it broke out here or if it broke out here, it's possible for a fake out. More possible for a fake out. The closer to the apex, the more likely it's truly a breakout. So this is okay, but if it did this and tomorrow is the breakout, even better. Even better than the real thing, right? You've been living underground, eating from a can. You've been running away because you don't understand trading patterns. You're slithering, sliding down. Will she be there when you're in the ground? All right. Sorry, I was a flower child of the 90s. Well, I wasn't quite a flower child, but I did go to the Lilith Fair and bumped into Chelsea Clinton at Lilith Fair. So a similar pattern found here on Kiwi Yen Yen. Okay. So we're eyeballing that, boy. We're eyeballing that. Cool. Euro, I don't want to look at it. We have an ECB meeting later in the week. I'm sure you know that. Here's that big move here. Got to zoom in. And then we got to pull back. Trying to squeeze this data in there. It doesn't quite fit. But I talked about this last night in the day trading group because we meet on Sundays. I know. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, dude, seriously? You guys meet on Sundays? What do you meet on Sundays? So we plan out Monday and Tuesday. If you show up on Monday and Tuesday and you don't have a plan, you're the sucker at the table. Okay? That's what we're thinking, boy. I don't know where I got the boy from. Girl. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel emotionally? Okay, now we have to look at the psyche, right? Psych level is really the R1. Okay, well, how afraid of you are the psych level, or are you going to do technical analysis? Technical analysis says R2. Why do I like to trade Forex more than stocks and indices? Taxation. Burned. Yeah, in the United States of America. Yeah. Yeah, one of my early years, I traded stocks, stock indices, commodities, commodity futures, Forex futures. I didn't trade options. So I traded basically everything except options. And my tax bill was something like 700 pages long, and I overpaid my taxes by more than $100,000. So I got a tax rebate that year. I can't remember what it was, $125,000 in a tax rebate. But then I got a $50,000 tax rebate from California, but that particular year they didn't have any money, so they sent me an IOU. So my taxes were just so complicated that even with a professional firm burned, taxes are due for businesses in like March. We extended, and we were done about October. The bill was the filing was hundreds and hundreds of pages. And even with the help of a professional firm, we accidentally overpaid the taxes by somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 on the feds, and $50,000 to $75,000 on the state. So when you're like that vulnerable to taxation and it's that complicated, just imagine I had to pay a firm for over 6 months just to figure it out, and then they were still that wrong. Because not only do you have to file as a firm, but then there's pass-throughs to you personally. You see how complicated it gets? So when that happened, I realized...
down on negative China export data.
Sorry, my AI was talking over me. I realized that most of the trades were so highly correlated that I could just trade everything through Forex. So that year I renamed my my gold charts. I renamed Aussie dollar. And my oil charts I renamed Canadian dollar. And I kind of did all that kind of stuff. Back then, euro, yen, and the stock market were super highly correlated, like almost perfect 1-to-1. So instead of trading stock market indices or futures contracts on the stock market, I just traded euro, yen. And by and large, did all the same trading the next year than I did the first one with all the taxation problems. And it was just cruising through. Like, it was so easy to do taxes. My taxes were so low. They were so easy to do. It was so cheap. And we were so accurate that, oh my God. So just that's that burned. Yeah. Now, it's probably not that way in the land of Nether. But anyways, yeah. But that's real. Right now, with my portfolio construction strategies, I'm really enjoying that because it's so reliable. It's so reliable that I can't help but enjoy it. Like, talk about stress-free. As far as I can tell, I mean, we're running in, like, we're hitting our first year. I think it's probably the 1 year anniversary now of the CIA. And we had theorized in the construction of this portfolio that, in theory, no matter what happens in the stock market, up, down, or sideways, we're going to make 12% minimum. Now, for some of you guys, you're like, oh, but I make 12% a month trading Forex. Well, yeah, you're over leveraged and you probably don't have any money. So on the other side, you know, how do you very, 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 very conservatively protect the money? The number one goal, how do you be ultra conservative and then still try to beat the S&P 500? That's kind of the basic goal. Like, how can you have half the risk of the S&P 500 and get the same return as the S&P 500? You get the same return, but you have half the risk. You see, like, if you can do that, that would be like an ideal thing when you're managing, you know, a pension fund and an endowment or just your retirement account, right? And so a year has gone by, we're just shy of 12% on that, just on the income side. But the internal rate of return is probably going to be about 12. So we can say a 12% return is pretty good. Now, we have, like, it's so low risk, like 90% risk, kind of low risk, than the stock market. And a 12% return, what does that actually mean? Like, how do we put that in context? Is that good? Is it bad? Well, you say, well, the long run average for the S&P 500 is 8%. But really, to do that well, you have to be in the right stocks and not in the wrong stocks and all that. So whatever. But on the long run, the number is 8. What did the S&P 500 return over the last 50 years on average, right? 8. So we're doing 12, but with significantly lower risk, to the point where I could probably start adding some leverage in the future, which gets really ridiculous. But that's sort of the sum of the end of our first year. Now, again, what does this actually mean? What does 12 mean? Well, it means your account doubles basically every 5 years. 5 or 6 years. That's good.
Next open for the major indices. S&P working on at 46th record close.
And so that has fascinated me because that's better than my wildest dreams. So Bern, that side is really, really interesting. And you have to understand, since we're managing my pension account, I don't pay taxes until later, 25 years from now. So it's compounding at 12%. And my particular fund is producing cash. It's not producing capital gains. I mean, it is doing some capital gains, but the vast majority of the profits are cash. So with the cash, we buy more shares, which earns more cash. So we buy more shares, which earns more cash, I buy more shares. Where typically capital gains just means you bought 10 shares and the value of your 10 shares have gone up, but you don't own any more shares. In 25 years, I'll have doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled my shareholdings through the accumulation of cash and reinvestment of cash. So you can imagine, and I'm not paying taxes on any of that until later. So you can imagine the compounding could be insane. So that's the burned sort of my new obsession, if you will. I love trading, but I've been a trader for so long. Now I'm going back to my roots, if you will, like venture capital, where I started was all about investing. But you never knew the outcome. In fact, your best guess was the outcome was going to be zero. You're going to have a negative return. Negative 100% was most of your investments, but every once in a while you'd hit a 10,000%, right? So it was really, the future was really opaque. Just like, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to put money into it. I never felt quite right about that, but that's where I grew up, was the Silicon Valley, right? So now moving from that to becoming a trader, I liked being a trader because you always knew where you stood. Is it profitable today or not? The clarity was wonderful. The purity of just buying and selling money was a fascination with me. It's the purest form of business. Think of it, when you go from venture capitalist to trader, and you as someone who reviews business models all day, suddenly you realize, like, why does somebody open a restaurant? Why does somebody rent a location, put in all these tables and chairs, spend $1 million or $2 million building out a kitchen, and then you hire all this staff from chefs and sous chefs and prep people and dishwashers, but then you got to have a maitre d' or 2 maitre d's or 3 maitre d's and all these people that waiters and servers and bartenders, but then you got to buy the booze, you got to buy the food, you buy the delivery, you got to clean everything, you have to deal with health inspectors, and on top of that, you have to handle all the marketing and advertising to get people in. I'm like, oh my God, running a restaurant is insane. So why do they do it? Well, to make money. So here we are, Forex traders. What do? We just buy and sell money. Let's skip all the other BS. I don't want to put $2 million into a kitchen and then have nobody show up.
US dollar elevated, despite dovish Kashkari confirming rate cuts.
Euro US dollar declines on China factors. ECB meeting on the horizon.
There's the AI. So anyway, I'm just fascinated by that. I love instant gratification and transparency and clarity. Like, is it working? Yes or no? Am I making money? Yes or no? Sweet. And we get paid in real time. In the stock market, you don't get paid in real time. You'd have to sell your Apple shares. So like, I owned Apple shares at $6 and I held them for 35 years. That doesn't mean I bought a jet with all the money I was making on my Apple shares. I just owned the shares. I bought them at 6, they went to 1,000, they went to 10,000 or whatever. Great, but you don't get to spend it. It's not real until you sell it. But then you sell it, you convert it to cash, now you don't own the shares. It's terrible. In Forex, you get paid in real time, Bernd. You get paid in real time. The profits that you're achieving are already in your account. Okay? So that's another major thing, Bernd, about trading Forex. Just lovely, lovely. You're collecting interest every day, and you're collecting your profits every second. Yeah, love it. Okay, love it. Very, very unique to the Forex market. And so now going back to the investing idea, like, how can I take almost no risk and have a massive return. Well, so that's what I've done in my portfolio. After 5 years at Harvard, I'm like, I'm gonna actually build a portfolio with this knowledge I've gained, and more successful than my wildest dreams. And I'm like, that's a good obsession. Okay, that's the closest thing to printing money I've ever done. It's doing fantastic. All right, let's go around. And, yep, it's still working. Day 1, day 2, day 3. It's working just beautifully. Okay, and I wonder if it's a turning point for yields. Could be. Okay, just moving along. Couldn't be any easier. Now you have to be patient, but it's not complicated. Okay, this arrow back in July is when we, in theory, went long emotionally. You know, I drew it and everything. It wasn't perfect. Came down a little bit more. And then we got range bound, and then we finally broke out, and then we went range bound. But what I teach is when you are doing that type of pattern. Now, this is not a TRADARS pattern. This is my experience pattern. When you get an up, oops, let's do this in black. When you get an up and sideways pattern, it's just waiting for the moving averages to kick in.
Tech stocks rise. NVDA leads gains, mixed signals in energy.
Okay. This is how I see the pattern. Okay. It's chunky. Well, Greg, I've been up for many hours. So, you know, I've already met with my group technical group last night and my fundamental group this morning. So we're already done our work. You know, this is just for fun, I guess, is the way to look at it, Greg. Imagining you guys are trading while I babble.
Crude oil dips at start of the week with China and OPEC dampening hopes for quick recovery.
But maybe I'll move my hours. We'll see. Oops. I hope you guys use the new squawk. I don't know where it is, though, but I can hear them talking. There's 2 models right now. Oh, I found it over here. Is this the right one? That one, I think I might have 2 instances. Let's see. And that one's, yeah, this one's old. All right. So I hope you guys use this. Just run it in the background while you're trading throughout the day. So anyways, thank you, Greg, for for sort of the heads up, if you will.
The European gas market remains tight. Morgan Stanley.
Oil down 2% as China demand concerns erase last week's gains.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think, Greg, I don't think anybody pays to hang out. So anyways, this is free. And I hope you guys use it. And if you could, can you just give it a thumbs up? Today is the first day. I think it's been running for 17 hours. And it's updating. So notice like even the charts are updating, the headlines are updating, and you can just have them in the background. There's AI models reading the headlines for you. I know they're a little quirky right now. We've been training them for 3 weeks, and we will get better at it. You have to actually teach them, and it's really interesting. You have to teach them through code. Right, like it reads BOE as Bowie. Okay, we just have to teach it. When you see BOE, say BOE or Bank of England, right? Like, does it know how to say NVIDIA? I'm not sure, actually. So, as we go through it, you'll see there's quirkiness, but we can flush all that out over time.
US dollar yen price forecast. The peaks and troughs keep rising.
All right, cool. Peaks and troughs rising. Okay. So anyways, neat. And this chart will cycle through 15-minute charts, through 4-hour charts. It's going to look at all kinds of different patterns, good, bad, and the ugly. So again, it's designed for you to either hang out and chat. Greg doesn't hang out though. Not for pay, not for money, right, Greg? Anyways, yeah, like you can chitty chat with the other traders, or you could just run this in the background and get the headlines while you're trading. Okay, and if you have the extension, you could do a video pop out and put this over your charts. Oh, shut the back door. Now, you can't quite see it, but you can hear it. Okay, so anyways, let's go look at some other commodities. Okay, now you see how it's floating? It's gorgeous, right? So we did gold. Here's your my WTI. Or S&P 500 on the open. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, I put that there. I asked that many days. Okay. Yeah, what are you trading today? Risk on, neutral, or off? Okay, this is the basis of every trading decision. You must know which one you are, and from that, you know how to make the proper trades. Risk on, for example, dollar weakness. Okay. What are you talking about pain? Or is somebody, maybe I'm not following it, Greg. But anyways, risk on, that's when you'd be selling yen, selling dollar, buying the stock market, that kind of stuff. Neutral is you're keeping your powder dry. Risk off is the opposite. The stock market's coming down. People are buying bonds. You're probably buying yen, buying Swiss franc, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But Greg, I'm not asking to pay for this. I paid thousands of dollars to build it, and I'm giving it away for free. That's all. It's free. I'm just saying it's on YouTube, streaming live. Put it in the background or pop it. And listen to it as it's doing its thing. It should be very helpful. Some services are charging hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. Some are charging less than that, of course. I think only one. There's one guy doing it for super cheap, but he's doing it himself. And then he's got AI after hours, but it's very thin, very slow, very not good. So this is like, as far as I can tell, top-notch, high quality, free news squawk. And I think it's the only one where the headlines are actually, some of the headlines are related to technical analysis, and I'm doing technical analysis here. So notice it switched to pound yen 12 minutes ago on a 15-minute chart. So I think we're the only one doing technical and fundamental analysis and giving it away for free. But again, I don't really use other services, but I've looked at other services and they wanted $420 a month. Well, here it is. It's free. All right. So anyways, boom. Oscar Mike on the move. Where's the top? Well, before you know the top, you have to know where the bottom is. And it's a big out of position trade, which is kind of interesting. It's way out of position. But we're just riding the 21. The target out of an OOP is somewhere between M4R2. But it's assumed if we got there early that there could be a collapse. But even that is not happening. We got close to my buy A zone. Okay, we came up with this 3 weeks ago, I guess, that we'd have it come down and then up. I don't know if we actually got there. Let me kind of zoom in. Let me move this. Let me see how close we actually got. Yeah, that's not that close. Prince Ben is saying the daily score change email service. No, that requires you to be a member, either a pro member or a fundamentals member, and then you can add that. I don't remember what it cost. I think it's like $19 a month. So anyways, Oscar Mike, crushing it today. Yeah, crushing it today. Yeah. Our CIA actually rotated and allocated towards NASDAQ a couple of weeks ago. So we can go to and do a compare and contrast there. So here's NASI. So I think when we were down around this 21, was it a couple of weeks ago or just a week ago? I can't remember. 1, 2, 3. Well, we met the Monday after non-farm payrolls. That's right. So we met 1 week ago, 7 days ago. So today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we met somewhere in there. Cool. And we bought in. We rotated some money out of Dow and into this asset class. And then we invested some cash into this asset class. Yeah. Cool. So how do we make these decisions? They seem to be doing okay. Okay, how do we make these decisions? Okay, so that's where you've been. Yeah, the Dow is probably not the right vehicle, although it's probably not the worst. But yeah. No, I don't, David, but I guess I could. But the number one goal is reduce volatility, and the second one is to earn income, and the third one is asset appreciation. And so I'm not entirely sure if that fits in there. I never thought about it. The other thing is the endowments that I manage, they were heavily invested overseas. Not heavily, but they definitely were exposed to international. And I argued that if you're inherently risk averse, you should stay with your home bias and in your home currency. I'm like, you don't need to add Forex risk to a portfolio that's supposed to be not risky, and so I argued, so I was killing all of that. Like, you don't need exposure to China. You don't need Korean stocks. They might be good, but you don't need to be in the Nikkei. If you're an endowment, you don't need all of that. You might as well just invest in dollar regime, asset classes, and then, just remove foreign exchange risk, right? Right? Well, favor, the issue is I want to teach you seasonality. If I give you the answer, you're done. And you're gone. If you join our community and you use our tools, okay, I have an opportunity to make a long-term impact on your ability. Okay? So it's the idea, like, am I intending to try to teach you how to fish? Or is my intention of these free live streams to simply give you fish? I have no interest in just fishing for other people. Okay? It's just not my personality. Now, I'll spend hours with you and hours and hours and hours teaching you the intricacies of being an independent trader. But for me to give you an answer defeats the whole purpose of why I get up early every morning and work to the wee hours, right? So it's more like you should just join traders.com. And we can work on that in the day trading group. We can work it in the fundamental group. We can work it in the swing trading. Like, for example, if we go to the homepage, and we go get started, and we go here. This base subscription includes hours and hours and hours and hours of training. It's only $97 a month. It's technical, it's fundamental, it's psychological. We're going over, right? Like today, you're going to meet with Peter going over trading the S&P 500 E-minis and all the other stock indices, right? On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do the fundamental side. You can ask me there. Let's go through some seasonality. On Thursdays, I do swing trading. You can ask me there too. And we can talk about it for 45 minutes if it makes sense, favor. And I can actually teach you. But to give you the number is defeating the whole purpose of me having an opportunity to work with you. I'm like, here's a fish, and you go away. Well, it doesn't benefit you in the long run, and it doesn't benefit me at all. I end up doing the work. You couldn't build traders for millions of dollars. So like, dude, you have all of this, And I believe this is ridiculously cheap for what you get. So you should do that. If you don't have a lot of resources, you should do that. And I will take care of all those questions and concerns and needs, and I'll make it easy for you. Okay? So that's it. Like, give me an opportunity for us to work together, Favor. Okay, so you're a welcome friend here, Favor. You're a welcome friend. You've been part of our YouTube live streams for, what, a decade? It's all good. All right. All right. One thing that's getting crushed while the dollar's strong are the exotics. And I'm wondering, like, if we are going to roll over on the Treasury yield market, which means investors start buying the bottom in the crash that we had recently. And if we do turn a corner, okay, look at this, we did trap it nice. If we do turn a corner, then Rand should be one that benefits if the corner is turned. Okay. Right? So it's two markets that you have to keep your eye on. If you're going to look for, if you think it's going to happen, how about that? If you think Treasury yields have hit a top and that they're going to start falling back below 4%, well, that was part of my prediction in January. Do you guys remember? I said the US dollar was going to be strong in October, even though it's very unusual. I said it's unusual, but that's what I think is going to happen this year, and I explained why. And that by the end, in particular the third week of October, I would look for the dollar to weaken again. Even though it had been, I suspect would be unusually strong for 3 weeks, then I would expect that strength to diminish. And by the time we hit to November, we're already shorting the dollar. Even though we just bought the dollar, we'd be then shorting. So if we're somewhere in that mode, then we want to watch treasuries. And if treasuries are going to move from 4.2 to 4.1 to 4.0 to 3.9 to 3.8, then guess what? Dollar's going to weaken and Rand is going to get strong again. And there's a lot of interest by the yield hogs to get short this asset. Okay? That's what people want. This is what people want. Is it happening? No, but what a great time for a head and shoulders, huh? Right? Yeah. What a great time. So you can obviously watch that. Okay, so we're at 4.1. We want to start watching and seeing if this will drop from down to, 4.0, 3.9, 3.8. And if that's happening, dollar index is probably weakening. And if that's happening, you're probably shorting USD Rand and picking up that beautiful yield. So it might be happening, but not quite yet. You can see, in fact, Treasury yields are up. But it's not, I'm not saying today, but in the next 10 days, I think there's a high chance of that. Good. How do you play it? So Bernd was like, So, moving from all these individual assets, what did you do after you found out the taxation favored Forex? Well, you just correlate everything. So it's like, well, what do you do if the yield on the 10-year T-note is falling? Okay. Oh, well, I already documented all that. Okay. And it's all documented right here. Cool. So, great. Is that happening now? No. What's actually happening now today? Nothing. Nothing's happening today. The bond market is closed, y'all. You need to know this. Canada is shut down for Thanksgiving. There's a parade in New York City. Okay? So today is Hold'em Day. Now, if you came in and you've already traded like it was a regular day, that's one of those characteristics of a retail trader that doesn't understand what's going on in the market. See, this is why you need tools like this, just to really understand the sentiment. Okay? Like, that's why, where's my live stream? I've lost my live stream. Where's my live stream? Did I lose it? I have it over here. This is why okay, and Greg asked about this. This is why I asked this question, because it gives you a sense of what is actually happening in the market, right, Greg? So like, what's everybody else thinking? That's all those risk gauges are. What are all the other professional investors thinking? Well, this is retail, but still, what are all the other, what are the options traders thinking? What are the dollar traders? What are the yen traders? What are the gold traders? What are the stock traders? What the vol traders? What are they trading today? Neutral. Good to know. Okay, very, very, very good to know. So you want to match the market. Okay? You want to match the market. Okay? Okay? Boo, 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 boo. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, semi-professional, right? Do, 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 do. So anyways, Favor, I hope there's no bad blood or bad feelings or something. You're right. I'm trying to have a long-term positive impact. Boom, boom, boom. Are we going to hang out here later today? Once this webinar is over, this live stream, are we going to stream together over here? Anybody going to continue the conversation? Yeah? That'd be cool. That was my intent, that you can just run it. I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry. 10:17. Let's continue. Let's move this out of the way. Let's continue. So nothing going on, so be careful. The one thing that I'm eyeballing, like I said, I'm very interested in if yields are going to fall or not. Oops. Oops. Right? Let it load. Okay, so I'm watching yields here. And yields have been up, but statistically, it thinks down. Now, I don't see all the data, and I find it surprising because it looks up to me, but obviously it's looking at more data than we can see, and it says down. Okay, good. So in the longer run, yields are down. We want yields to fall. It says by the end of the next 7 days, we should be able to get back to 4.0. If it's ridiculously best case scenario, 3.86, but I don't believe that. And could it go to 2 and then down? Yeah, I suppose. So I don't know. I kind of want the middle. But if next week's going to be the week, then a little up and then down is still likely. So I don't have any answers. But the thing is, this is what we have to watch. And if this starts going down, then, then other things like gold might move, stock market might move, dollar might move. Okay. You see? So this is the thing I'll probably be watching the most fundamentally. Let's take a look at the technical radars. So the fundamental radars, there's a lot more than that. But let's look at the technical radars. I'm going to throw everything on. I'm going to throw all commodities on. And I want to get rid of key levels. Reversals, like Fibonacci patterns, most of them are reversals. Not all of them, of course. So, yeah, okay, good enough for the girls I go with. And let's see. Okay. And we've identified a lot of these ascending triangles. As you saw on my charts, I had a few. I think a lot of them were yens, and here's another one. So you're getting a heads up right now. 20 minutes ago, the technical radars at traders.com said, hey, you have an ascending triangle, and if it breaks, you're going to have a move up to 197. And then, of course, we'll probably form a channel and destroy the triangle and turn that into a channel. And yeah, that would be most ideal, right? So that would look like this. If we do this, then that's probably the new pattern, right? And we develop into a channel and the triangle goes away. And that would look like this. We'd have a bullish channel. Cool. And what I know and what we've explained already is this consolidation like this is really just the daily chart trying to catch up. So, and then finally the moving averages hit on the daily and it goes pop, pop, and you start riding the daily moving averages. You just can't see them on a 30-minute chart. So it's just simple fractal geometry. Okay. Pound yen on an hourly. Same idea, same trade. Up, boop, boop. Okay. But you might prefer the technical setup on the hourly versus the 30-minute. Kiwi. Okay. Kiwi noticed that we might have a break going on the channel up, which is a threat to bulls. And now it has actually occurred. So what WWWD, is that right? What would Wayne do? What would bears do? WWBD, what would bears do? Well, bears don't sell low, but a bear would sell high. Okay? So you could use the bottom of the channel, or you can use like this zone. In this zone, I'd do a trap and break like that, which ends up being exactly the circle I drew because, well, that's how the Wayne do. All right. So anyway, so what's the next move? Remember, nothing at traders.com is a signal. If you don't know how to trade, you're still going to suck. So you're going to have to put in the work. If you want to be a professional, you have to put in the work. You can party all you want. Have you ever heard Michael Jordan talk about Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman was a partier's partier. This guy would party all night and then show up for a playoff game for the Chicago Bulls. And, you know, Michael Jordan would practice all summer and all winter and all weekends and all holidays. Like, he's the opposite. He'd never go out and party, really. Work, 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 work. And Dennis Rodman would just party, party, party and show up. But the part that that Michael Jordan liked about Dennis Rodman is he still carried the work ethic, though. When it came to practices and when it came to the game, particularly the game, he would work harder than anybody on the floor. So, like, you can do what you want to do when you're not trading, but you better bring it. You know, you better bring it. Actually, I had a friend like that at Harvard where, let's just say he didn't study enough and he really enjoyed the nightlife. And oh my God, I'm like, if you don't bring your A game, I'm going to have no respect for you. And he'd be out way too late partying, and I'm just working hard. And everyone else is working hard, and he's out partying, and he'd show up just shot. And I'm like, oh, this guy's nice, but he's going to flunk out. And he'd show up, and he'd do his presentation, even though he hadn't even slept. He'd go up and he'd rock his presentation. I'm like, dude, as long as you rock the presentation, I don't care. I don't care anything about your lifestyle, man. If I can count on you to show up and rock it, hit the ball out of the park, then by all means you do you. I think it's an unconventional way. But if I can rely on you, that's all that matters, right? And so anyways, this is knowing sort of your game and the reliability and all that, like, that's where bears are going to live. And you really need to know the work, because you might say channel up. Well, yeah, it was a channel up. Okay, and we know that the opportunities live low. Okay, and when this signal, if you want to call it that, if you want this signal, which let me, I guess, do it in gray, and I'll make it a little thinner. I think it's too fat. But anyways, this gray line is like it noticed right there. that there was a threat to the bottom of this channel. It's a threat, not an opportunity. What you want to do is observe that it's bounced off the bottom, and then you want to get going this way, right? So TRADARS to the bulls on Euro Kiwi got the heads up that there's a threat, and then it did break. And so what would a bull do? Well, if it does come back, you should take profit, and bears should get ready somewhere in that zone and down is probably the next move. Cool. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of good information. Cool. Stock indices. So we have Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano. Look at that ADA, everybody. ADA. It's nice. It's trading at 37 cents. I think I owned it at $2. There's your SOL, man. Solana. Boom. You got it. You get it. You got it. You know it's good. Okay. Here's another one on the higher time frame. Okay. In consolidation, lacking direction. Let it break. But anyways, you guys asked for those crypto and we added them. So there you go. Netflix, Meta. Okay. I see some downs. I see some ups. Yeah. I see a sideways market today, huh? For many things. Look at Microsoft. What do you, inverse head and shoulders. Look at that. We don't get a lot of these. I need to put that on the flashcard. Okay, got to put it in the PowerPoint presentation. That's beautiful. We don't get a lot of those, but they're very reliable. Yeah. Very reliable. One of the most reliable patterns. Apple's got to break out to the up. Microsoft in the higher time frame, though, is vulnerable to come back around. Ooh, that's a complicated one. Anyway, so beautiful if you trade stocks. When you guys are ready, I would like to create additional trading groups at traders.com. One for stock traders and one for options traders. Stock traders we could add right away as long as we had 20 people or something that wanted to trade stocks. We could create a session for that. But options traders, we don't have anything live right now when it comes to trading options. But I have demoed what we can do when it comes to options, and it's pretty remarkable, actually. So for those that just trade options all day, the thing is I don't know if there's enough opportunities to make it daily, but at least we could turn it on and give you like maybe there's 5 or 6 a week option trading strategies, because it looks for, some of these options trading that I've seen us do will come up with like 6 or 7 option strategies, and it charts them all, does all the hockey stick charts, so you can figure out your break evens and your in the money, out of the money, and all that kind of stuff. You're like, it's really, really good. But maybe, again, if it's only 5 opportunities a week or something, I'm not sure. Maybe we're not feeding the beast enough data, but I know it's not like this, where you got like a dozen things at any given time. Look at that commodities here. 3 drive emerging. That says gold will probably come back down to A. Silver probably come back down to A. Brent, there's a threat to the upside, but it hasn't happened yet. That's not an opportunity for bulls. That's a threat to bears. Smaller time frame, gold's doing fine. So maybe on a quiet day like this, it's better to look further out. Oil is a buy according to that. It's been down for a while. It's probably a new buy. Take it up to 80. Silver definitely has a threat here. Definitely broke down. So bulls on silver, you should be very, very, very careful. Like, for example, I mean, none of us know the future, but I'll tell you, if I was a bear, what would I do? Okay, I saw the breakdown and somewhere around here, and no higher than here. Okay, I would sell it again. That's what I would do if I were me. So it was up, then there was a break. Okay, so I would wait for a pullback, 31.5, and then I would take it down. In a place of glory, take me out before I shoot. Okay, that's what I would do if I were me on this time frame. Now, if you're a bull, that's definitely a threat to you, but you want to see maybe on a higher time frame what that test means. Okay, on a higher time frame. On a higher time frame. And you're like, okay, maybe that's just a very basic retest on a higher time frame, right? A higher high, higher low, long gone. But it does mean it's slowing down, because in that case, you're going to be measuring the base. The base of this pattern is changing its slope, right? Okay. Now, the secondary would be about the same, but the primary, the steepness has changed. So again, are you fundamentally a bull or a bear on silver? It's just that simple. Are you risk on or risk off? Are you a bull or a bear? If you're like, I'm so confused, Wayne, is it going to fall or is it going to go up? What's the trade? Dude, for people that ask questions like that, let me tell you, nobody knows. And you will never be able to put a trade plan together if you can't make a decision on whether you're a bull or a bear. Now, once you do that, it's pretty easy. Okay? Bulls will probably buy this on a higher time frame. Why? They're bulls. That's support, dude. Seriously. Okay? Then you're like, but what if you just told me, what if the bears bring it down? Yeah, well, you get knocked out of break even. What's the problem? That's going to happen to you 100 million times. But you need to trade in the direction of your fundamental bias. Okay? On this time frame, it's definitely a threat. But like I said, look at it from a higher time frame. It might be an opportunity. You just have to know what's going on today. But what if you plan on being in this for 3 weeks? Then what's happening today isn't really that terribly interesting, in particular on sort of a dead day. This is just giving you the heads up that there's a threat if you're a bull. Now, if there's a threat to bulls, it could develop into an opportunity for bears. So we know probably from this, right? It's just simple logic. If you're a bear, you're probably going to sell here or at the top, right? So bulls know exactly what bears are going to do before bears have even done it. So they know where their threats are. As long as you know, you can make decisions. If you're like, there's no way silver's coming down. Are you kidding me? 30 is support. Good. Just realize that it is being tested. But please, don't go chasing candles. Please stick to the lakes and the rivers that you're used to. I know you'll have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. So be a bull. If you're a bull, be a bull. Has it made a lower low? Not really. I mean, you might say yes to that, but no to that. Good. That's a tough one. Yeah, make a decision. Make a decision on your behavior. You'll never know the outcome, and you don't want to ever try to feel like you'll always know the outcome. No. You trade your strategies. You trade your bias. You understand the difference between an opportunity and a threat. You understand differences between multiple time frames. And the fundamentals and seasonality don't really change that often. Right? Let's go. Actually, I want to go back and then I'll leave you with one final thought. I've taken too much of your time today. I'm sorry. What did I want to do? I guess I wanted to go to the scorecards and we can look at silver and see how we feel. And it's mediocre at best. It's, how do you say it? COT bullish. Trend is still technically bullish, but slowing down. See, that's all we notice technically. Okay. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, sometimes I babble, especially when I'm tired. And, it's funny. It's 10:30 and my eyes are just watering. I'm so tired. I'm puffy. I can barely focus my eyes. I'm that tired and it's 10:30 in the morning. So often I'm just living on adrenaline, right? But I try to squeeze in all these stories with the purpose of teaching. And sometimes I do better at that than not. So the long ones are usually not the best ones. That's all. But looking at silver, like we saw this slowdown in the trend on the technical charts, which have nothing to do with the statistical charts. This trend projection is statistical analysis. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals, right? But we saw it over in the technical patterns that the threat we saw to the down is potentially, we'll call it 50-50, could be an opportunity for long-term bulls buying a dip on the short-term charts. Well, that sounds normal. Okay, but even if that occurs, what it means is, and I drew that, the primary supportive line has changed its slope to less bullish. And now we go over here, and statistically, I can prove that as a fact. And it's been added to the score. And silver, when you look at everything that's going on in the world, really isn't even that interesting. But most people are long. So you could be in the business of buying the dip. Also, if you can be in the business of buying the dip, do you have permission to hold? The answer to that is yes. The next few months are not great months for silver, but every month is less bad than the previous. And that could be good. Oh my God. So, hey, I am going to do work today, and I'd love to get some trades in, but sometimes work overwhelms trading, and today is a quiet day with the bond market being closed and Canada being closed. So maybe I should stop my bitching and just get on working. But I am going to try to hang out today on the new live stream, the new Squawk live stream. And I would be very grateful if you joined me and click the thumbs up button. And let's try to get YouTube to accept. Ooh, look, it's not live. Make sure you click the live. See, it speeds it up. Make sure that's live. And make sure your audio is going. I would like it if YouTube accepts what we do here. And doesn't, I don't know, blacklist it like it seems to do with a lot of the live streams that we do. On one side, you have the live calendar. There just isn't anything on the calendar today. The next news event isn't till tomorrow. Okay? For UK jobs. Great. In here is the live news flow. I can't quite see that, but the last news headline came out 3 minutes ago. And then this updates technically. So we got technical charts and patterns updating. We have live real-time headlines and a calendar that also updates as it goes and gives you the consensus and then the actual number within, I don't know, 2-3 seconds of the news being released. So real-time calendar, real-time headlines, and real-time technical analysis on a live stream on YouTube I'm giving away for free. So if you can help me make it a success, it would make, the money I spent on this. And it costs many hundreds of dollars a month just to run it. So if you could help me get the word out that I'm democratizing news flow for traders and investors, I'd love it for the free service to be successful. I really would. It'd be really cool. It's like, again, it's a way for me to support the community. And if we can carry our banter on over here and just give, that's cool, right? Very, very cool. Okay, so please help me with this initiative. I would like it to be a success. I think we can make a difference in a very positive way to everybody that's interested in trading and investing. Meanwhile, I think people that offer squawk services for $300 a month are going to be pissed. Yeah, so if I have like 10 people watching, I'll probably get a cease and desist order. If I had 1,000 people watching, there's not much that people could do to prevent it. Too powerful in our masses. So let's mass together and protect each other. Okay? No, it's free for everybody. It's live on YouTube, Bernd. It's on YouTube, Bernd. It's just on YouTube. It's live. It's public. Right? Yeah, so these guys squawking the street own this. Yeah, looks like they own that. But then I think if you type in, come on. I found it earlier. It was pretty good. I thought we came up right away. Free news squawk. All right, well, try traders. See, they're not promoting it. Here it is. Live. So anyways, if you could visit, it'd be great to see a couple of dozen people there. Yeah. Yeah, Bernd, the other one that is on traders.com will be taken down. Because that I don't own the intellectual property. I was contemplating buying the rights, And then I realized if I'm going to buy it, I might as well just build it. So I built this and I own the intellectual property. And so I'll take the other one down. This is ours. And if you can click the thumbs up button, it'd be great if there was like hundreds, right? So anyways, I'll see you over there now. Thank you for your attention. Please visit traders.com and tradersway.com. They complement each other and they work well for a perfect trading platform, if you will. Peace on earth, because we need that. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And as Kamala would say, joy.